from Thales eSecurity, and with me I have my colleague Sumit Rawat. Yeah, and we are going to talk about data protection today, the hows and the use cases about it. About the Thales group, so we have 5 verticals across the globe, and if you have ever watched a movie in an aircraft, we have touched you. If you have ever boarded a metro in the country, we have touched you. So having said that, amongst these 5 verticals, we belong to the last one, last but not the least, security, and we are the world leaders in data protection. So to complement what I said, so we have an experience of 40+ number of years in this particular domain. We've built this expertise over the time, and we have a lot of patents to our credit. On the customer base side, we have Fortune 500 companies, we have largest of the banks, and we have energy companies, the critical of them, for whom we are doing the data protection. One critical data point is the number of POS transactions we are securing across the globe, so which is a whopping high 80%. So how we are able to do that is that we have so many partnerships, which is to the tune of 130+, which we are going to talk about in the next few slides as well. So I'll be referring to our data threat report, which actually gives us lot many pointers and insights into what is happening in the marketplace on trends in encryption and data security. So this report is available freely on our website, thalesesecurity.com, and we do have global as well as India editions for the threat report. So when we pick this data point and talk about how the spend has been in India, so the good news is that the spend is increasing, and it's way above the global average. Yeah, but the bad part, so are the breaches. So rings a bell, right? So but see how the bad actors, the criminals, are using encryption. You remember the screen on the right bottom hand side? WannaCry? Encryption was used to really encrypt the files, and then the ransom was asked. So where the money is going? So though we are spending, but still we're seeing breaches. So what we feel is that people are spending more and more money in strengthening the perimeter. So strengthening the perimeter is good, but it is not good enough, right? So what if the enemy is behind the wall? So to complement what I said, so again, one more extract from the threat data report. Who are the top ones in this list are the privileged users, the bad actors, right? So the question is, okay, whom to trust? What do I do with my critical data? Do I hand it over to DBA or the administrator, the root user? What to do about it? So what is the solution? So the solution is simple: encrypt the data and manage the keys well. So there is a lot of stress on the key management over here. And of course, what access needs to be given to whom, you control it. Right, on the encryption side, does root user need to have the key with him? No. So this you decide basically, right? Keeping the key with the data is not a good idea. That is like you lock the door and keep the key under the doormat, right? Like we all have done at some point in time in our life, right? But everyone can post to offer encryption. So the choice is yours, A or B, right? Whether it is a purpose-built kind of a solution you should go for, or one hook kind of a solution, which is option A. So how organizations have built is like adding product on product, technology by technology, the use basis. And every vendor in the marketplace today has built some element of encryption in top. But who manages that encryption? What happens to those keys? Nobody knows. If you query a little bit amongst your teams, you'll see a serious gap. Again, you're leaving the key with the data, and nobody knows how to manage it because you have created already the silos, right? So the solution really gets complex, inefficient, and of course, the expensive. So encryption without effective key management is just like this ribbon holding the chain, very weak. So we got to do something about it. So what should be the strategy? It should be a platform-based strategy doing not only the key management, but transparent encryption across your databases, application encryption across the applications, and tokenization and data masking as per the business need. If you are going to cloud, you're exposing yourself to others, so what you got to do is encrypt your data and keep the keys with you centrally. Just a mention of few of the brand names over here. It's a truncated list, but very credible names you could see who are our customers. They run Warmetric platform, Thales Warmetric platform to secure their data. So these are the partnerships basically which we work with. So be it on the storage side, likes of Dell, EMC, platforms like HP, Red Hat, VMware, or big data platforms like Hadoop, Oracle, Cloudera, or standard infrastructure service providers like Cisco. So we work with them all. So last but not the least is the SIM integration, which gives you the dashboarding. So we integrate with almost everyone available in the industry today. So we integrate our solution with your existing SIM to give the alerts as soon as there is some attempt of a breach. So to cover the use cases, I'll invite my colleague Sumit Rawat to take it forward.
Thank you, Veneet. So as Veneet has told about the encryption solution that Thales provides, there are use cases that need to be discussed. And if I just talk about data, there are basically two types of things which you can do to secure the data. One is data confidentiality and integrity. But the data can lie anywhere, like it can be in your database, file system, storages, SAN, NAS, it can be in the cloud, your private, or maybe you are outsourcing it with the vendor. So just quickly looking into the use cases, we can achieve the use cases with a different solution. That means you can have one solution which can do digital signing and you achieve the data integrity and non-repudiation kind of a thing. But then it's a one solution. Is that solution able to give you the tokenization capability? We need to look in. So Warmetric solution is the one-stop solution which can help customer to achieve all the use cases related to signing, encryption, generating some HMAC, your format preserving encryption, tokenization, and the key management. As Veneet has told, key management is really important. It's in the heart of the encryption, because when we encrypt anything, it boils down to a single piece of information that is a key, your encryption key. Most of the time, what we have observed that yes, corporate has the encryption there, but don't know who is owning the key, where is the key, and can they change the key, can they rotate the key, can they delete the key, who is using the key, who is using the key, like is there an unauthorized access. So these falls under the unanimous encryption policy. This is the time that we are seeing that corporate are going for the data protection officers and building their own policy around the encryption. So solution like this would help like a one-stop solution to have encryption on board, and it's just not simply fulfilling a single use case of signing or encryption, but anything which you can imagine related to the encryption. We move forward. It's not always that there is always a legacy system or maybe some system who's already doing an encryption. Warmetric solution provides a key management capability. For example, if you are using some native encryption, which as of now maybe some Oracle or maybe some TD kind of an encryption, so still the key is not being managed by the users. Using this Warmetric solution, you can have like database keys be managed centrally and your storage encryption key, plus if there is a vault, it can be act as a vault, like your SSL keys, which you may be lying as a plain flat file, can be on a secured key manager kind of a thing. Plus Plus the cloud, like you may have a data flowing out of your perimeter, out of your premises and going into some private and public cloud. We have seen lately that company has formed the policies around the adoption of the cloud, and the most common thing that we have observed is that whenever you go onto the cloud, maybe private or public, you keep the control of the encryption key so that the data goes outside, you have the key capability to have the key with you. Vormetric provides that capability that, okay, even if the data is moving out, you encrypt the data, give the data to anyone, anonymize, you can set the encryption and tokenization, and you keep the key with you. Yeah. Common use cases, I just want to really tell you, this is the solution which actually not a single solution like for your immediate need. For example, we have seen there is an immediate need to encrypt the database. And what we have seen, we go for a solution where we can only encrypt the database. But what about the future needs? For example, probably you may just need to encrypt the database, but in future, you want to encrypt some files and folders, some shares, some SAN and NAS storage, some your distributed file system. Then you may want to encrypt something at the application layer, want to encrypt some payload and send it to your partner and all those things. You want to tokenize the data. Recently, we have seen tokenization being implemented on the Aadhaar Vault kind of a system. Plus, PCI DSS already talks about that how we can tokenize and put a system out of the audit if it's not using the actual credit card numbers. And data masking, your cloud storage, plus all your batch encryption. This is one of the important things because whenever we adopt an encryption, there is always a legacy data which is not encrypted and we want to move to encryption. So then we may think of another solution which can do one-time encryption. Yeah, but this is the one of the solution Vormetric provides where all these use cases, it's a single stop solution for all the encryption requirement. Now, this is one more interesting thing. This is my observation. There is not that much of adoption of the cloud in banking sector. We haven't came across that much, but similar, the same solution can provide the capability that you can go onto the cloud. It can be AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, but you have the key management in-house or maybe separate from the service provider. So you may be using AWS bucket, S3 bucket, where you store your data packets, but still you encrypt the keys and keys it with you. Now, how it is different is that this is a single key management solution for all the cloud vendors, public cloud vendors. So you would be getting a single console, and you can see the key of Amazon and Azure and Google Cloud and Salesforce in a single console. So you don't need to go for a different solution. So all in all, this is what we are trying to say is that instead of putting like going for an immediate requirement to fulfill a simple encryption need, we can look into a solution where it gives you breadth of encryption and help you solve much more use case which you may not aware of as of now. Okay?
So in summary, what this presentation is all about is that we heard innovation. So innovation is there. So now it is all about how we really implement it properly, right? So law being there, enforcement not being there, the law is useless. So it's about how you go about really establishing those use cases, having the control of your critical data rather than depending on someone else. I think this is where I would end. Thank you so much for a patient listening. Thank you.